Hey you guys, as 2013 winds down, I've started to really embrace my nerdity, like that was anything that needed to happen, and really started paying attention to how many books I've read this year. I mentioned in my last video, or the video before that, I think actually, that I have read, at this point, I think 56 books this year. Yeah, 56 books this year, so I have to read 4 more by January 1st, actually by midnight on the 31st, to meet my reading goal for the year. So I'm really pretty excited about that. A couple of things that I've talked about reading-wise this year. My TBR jar. This has been pretty successful. Gotta put it back on my shelf so it doesn't get broke. I have a list of quote-unquote 100 books to read. Whoa, sorry you can't see that. And there's actually a little bit more than that. And I separated series and put them on a whole other list so that I don't have, like, the Stephanie Plum series has 20 books in it. And that's a huge chunk of my TBR list, so, or of my 100 books to read list. So, this year I read 5 books that were on my list of 100 books to read. And really, that's only been since the end of August. So that was pretty good. I thought progress towards that. This is my reading notebook. I keep all kinds of stuff in it. Different book lists that I've made. This is my December TBR list. I'm not doing very great as far as progress goes. I've only got 2 books parked off on it. Books that are coming out. Publishers lists of like top 10 books I keep in there. I have a section for quotes. I just have quotes by Rainbow Rowell right now. And then, of course, I have the list of books that I've read this year. Also, apparently, I had mine and Alyssa's What Can We Be for a Halloween list. So, all of the important stuff is in my little blue moleskin notebook. Another thing I did this year was, I used to do it when I worked at the library, especially. I did a bunch of book challenges and just read different things to kind of expand my reading experience, I guess would be a good thing. Like one year I did one where you read a novel with the title from every letter of the alphabet. And I wasn't successful because there aren't many Q books and there aren't many Z books. So that was hard. I did one where I read a letter for each letter of your name. And I did really well with that, even though I have a lot of repeat letters. Especially my first name and my last name. So this year, the only thing that I do the Goodreads challenge every year, which is basically just setting a goal for yourself as far as number of books goes. But this year I also did the 2013 Bingo Reading Challenge scorecard. And I don't even remember what blog I got this from. And I thought it was really cool because it has 5 categories, and it's read a book from your TBR pile, a book that's part of a series, a book released in 2013, a book everyone but you has read, and then reread one book, and you have like 1 through 5. The only thing I didn't like about this challenge, and I haven't updated it in a couple of weeks, but I've done pretty well. The only thing I didn't like is you can't reuse books. So like if I read one book from my TBR pile, I have to read 2 other books to finish this. So that ended up being about, I don't even know. I can't do the math. It's really late on Friday, so it's been a long week. I can't do the math, but I have it written down, which I know is a shock. 72 books, which was 12 above my goal of 60 books. And I'm not going to finish that this year, obviously. I've only got 4 more books, but I think I'm going to knock off a couple of squares. So, of course, that inspired me to say, you know, I really like that bingo challenge, but I wish it was a little more diverse, and that if I have to read a different book for each square, it could just be something different for each square. So, I spent some time. I can't even see because of the shadow if this is going to show up. But I doodled out a little bingo scorecard for myself that I'm going to